Welcome to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast.
Holla.
Well, welcome in to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Hayes, with Matt Baker.
No shit.
Well, you can find us at avgffpod.com. Go there, click the buttons, go to the places where we are, give us a like, follow, subscribe, check us out. You can even listen on the web page if you'd like to. But if you do choose to listen there, we still would like to see you follow us on some of the platforms that we are, just to get our numbers up. Either way, we do have a alcoholic beverage of the week. It's called Two Turnt Tea. It's an iced tea with a hint of lemon, 5% alcohol out of Noka Brewing.
It's gluten-free.
And it's gluten-free for anyone who needs that.
And you're supposed to shake it, and I did not do that.
I did not shake it either. It's got electrolytes in it, too. And no, it's not...
Good? Yeah, you're right.
It's not carbonated.
Oh, not carbonated. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's almost like a weird uncarbonated...
I think maybe we should have shook it.
I'm about to.
All right, so tell me if it changes before I go through all the trouble of trying to shake mine.
Okay, yeah, we need a video of that. That would be kind of cool.
Did it change anything? Is there more sweetness?
Actually, it tastes a lot better.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you got to shake the shit out of it. It doesn't make it great, but it does make it taste better. If that makes sense.
Oh wow, it does.
Like it's
all right. So this, if you do drink Two Turnt Tea,
please, for the love of God, shake it.
It's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not. If I drank this, if I pulled this out of a cooler, even if I didn't shake it, it's not terrible. It was like if you took water and you squirted a little bit of lemon in it and put just not a sweet tea, just like a dash of tea.
It's like if you took
sweetened tea,
a glass of cold water, put a half a squirt of lemon juice in it, and took a tea bag and set it in it, slowly pulled it out and threw it away.
Yes, there you go.
That's what it tasted like, with a little alcohol kick.
Yeah, with a little alcoholic kick.
Like, so I like unsweet tea,
I will say the third drink in, it just kind of becomes part of you. It does. There's nothing. There's nothing that stands out about the flavor.
There is. It's very bland.
It's literally like flavored water.
Yeah,
to me.
It's very bland. There's no, like, without the bubblies and all that stuff. It's all that. But
yeah, it does have a little medicine-y kind of taste. I think that's whatever they put in it for the non-sweeteners. They probably I don't know what they would use.
It's got 2 grams of sugar. It's not, I mean, it's
I don't know. There's something medicine-y tasting in it.
I wonder what they
maybe
use
that's
for the
what
lemon,
the alcohol.
What they use for the lemon, the hint of lemon. If there's no juice in it,
I won't be buying it again. I will say that. But if I saw it somewhere and it was in the cooler and I was looking for a change up, maybe something, because I could drink this really fast if I wanted to.
Yeah, it would definitely. If you
come off chugging water.
Yeah, come off of the lawnmower or something.
Yeah.
You could turn this up and.
Yeah, I guess that's why it's Two Turnt Tea. I will have to drink this entire 12-pack that I bought, though.
That is true. You
Not tonight.
Have to do that.
I have to drive home, but I don't know. It's interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, there's nothing special about it, though.
Nah.
It's just the can is cool. I will say that.
Well, the design. That's what caught my eye. For anybody who's seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like pink and blue, and it's like an 80s kind of vibe of design with like the letters look like they're 3D, trying to make them old school 3D kind of design.
It's very vibrant too. Still like
it's eye-catching
still
design.
Bland. Still like not bland, but like
So if you're not looking for anything with a whole lot of flavor, but something that can be refreshing, and just make sure you shake it. It does completely change the dynamic of the drink.
I feel like they should put it more obviously on the can
to shake.
Yeah, it should be like Two Turnt Tea shake.
I can't. I'm going to give it another chance when I can shake one without hadn't been open,
it fresh, and
I'll give you another one. So when you finish that one, you can do it, and that way we can get the real thing. But until we get to that point, we are going to be breaking down our 5 players each that we feel are undervalued right now in the way the ADP is. And some of these are going to change, obviously, as camp and stuff goes, but we're just kind of looking where things are at this moment. There are people out there drafting weirdly for a redraft, so I wouldn't advise that. But I do get it that sometimes people are a little antsy and they just want to get stuff going, especially for people who are not involved in dynasties all season. So this is like they start getting the itch right around now and they want to get stuff drafting now.
Yeah.
There's a ton of best balls out there. So I will say, if you got that itch, maybe get in on some best ball tournaments and stuff like that, because that's a good way to start getting the drafting going and get an idea of who the players are. So until then, I don't think there's a ton of news right now that's come down about anything that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, nothing major. You still got some camp hype going around. With
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
like that.
Just off the top of your head, where's Trey Lance playing right now?
Trey Lance. So
I found this out either earlier today or yesterday, and I had no idea.
So he was Dallas, so I'm guessing they probably released him and he got picked up.
But had I not asked you the question and you just thought of Trey Lance, you would have thought he was still in Dallas, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about him
Right.
going anywhere or anything. So,
So where do you just pick a team and
where did he probably go? I'm gonna say maybe Atlanta.
Chargers?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's talk.
So he's third in the depth chart still though, because they drafted a rookie too, didn't they? This year, like a late draft quarterback or something.
There's talk that he's going to be the backup. That he has a good chance to be the backup for Herbert. I heard it on a Dynasty podcast I was listening to where they were talking about guys at the bottom of your roster, whether you can drop them or not.
Yeah.
And one person brought up Trey Lance. He's like, obviously in single quarterback, yes, but in double quarter or two quarterback
or
it's like if he's going to be the backup to Justin Herbert, you can't drop him.
Yeah, you need to. I'm going now to pick him up in the league. I have Justin Herbert as my starter if that's going to be the case. So.
Yeah. I mean, you got a long camp. I don't know who the other quarterbacks are on their roster. I can't remember. I know Easton Stick was there.
I think he's gone, but I could have swore there was another young,
which we'll
last
know
year or
next
this
week,
year.
next week. We're going to start our divisional breakdowns. So we'll be able to go on a deeper dive in these rosters and start getting our heads wrapped around who's gone where. Because these minor players like Trey Lance, they don't really matter much. That could impact things down the road. So a lot of these guys have moved around so much, and they're not headline things. So
DJ Iagalagali.
No, that's oh my god! If you just show me the name, so his nickname is DJU. He played at NC State.
So they signed him as an undrafted free agent.
Ugabwale. It's not a Gumbawale, but it's almost like that.
It's Galea or Galelei.
Just because I listen to Charlotte, North Carolina Sports Talk Radio on occasion, I know who DJU is.
Yeah,
and I've heard his name pronounced, but it's been a long time.
They signed him as an undrafted free agent, whatever.
Yeah, that dude's unclean ass. So I don't.
But I knew that somebody else got added. Taylor Heineke's there too, by the way. So
okay.
Right now he's listed as the backup.
Yeah. So it's just something to keep an eye on. In that system, you got to think about I don't want to spend too much time on Trey Lance, but
no.
I was thinking, obviously Herbert's the dude, but Herbert has had some issues with injuries and things like that, and usually it's not anything soft tissue. He just gets hit in the pocket. He's had some rib issues, things like that. So he has missed a game here or there. But he is pretty durable overall, I think. I don't think he's had any, knock on wood, major injuries in his career thus far. But
not last year, the year before, he missed 4 games.
That's right.
That was that ankle thing, I think.
There was one year he missed a few games because of a rib shot.
And then he played a few games with the ribs. Yeah, with the ribs.
But Trey Lance is interesting in the sense that if he does get a chance to play, so the system or the offensive coordinator for the Chargers used to be Lamar Jackson's offensive coordinator, and so he would understand. Trust me, Trey Lance is nowhere near the passer that Lamar Jackson is.
Yeah,
but his athletic profile is close as far as his ability to move around in the pocket, his speed, size, and all that stuff. So it would just be interesting to see what they would do, what type of plays they would call with Trey Lance back there. So it's just something to keep an eye on. But I had no idea he was on the Chargers. None. I
didn't either.
So that's why I'm interested next week as we start to dive into these divisions. We're going to start in the AFC West, as we always do, and work to the east, the north, and the south, and then the NFC East or West, East, North, South, and go through and give our opinions on the teams. We're going to talk about who we think is going to win, the divisions, what the records are going to be, players we like in the division, smash passes and all that stuff. and our sleepers. And so we're going to start that next week and try to start knocking that stuff out. But as far as this week, let's go ahead and kick it off into our undervalued ADP players. I had to listen to that bass line for a second. Homie was breaking it down.
Just let it go.
I'm sorry.
It's almost exactly the same as it sounds. Uncanny.
All right. So undervalue ADP. I'm going to kick it off. I can't quit you. You have, I have you on way too many shares of you in Dynasty. And in redraft, he's currently going as the RB5. 12th overall. He has moved up some, but I still think he's undervalued based off of what he can do, and that is Christian McCaffrey. All reports are right now that he is healthy. All reports are that he is raring to go. He's chomping at the bit. And if Christian McCaffrey is 100% healthy and he plays the majority of the season, he will be a top 3 running back in this league.
Yes.
Most likely the RB1. And so for me to get him, right now, you can get him at the turn. Some leagues you can get him in the second. I know when we did our redraft, mock draft, I'm pretty sure he was drafted like the 204, the 205.
Yeah.
And so if I can get, like, I would draft him personally if I'm looking at the top of the board. So Jamar Chase, Bijan, Saquon, Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb. I take all those over him. After that, I'm not taking Puka, Neighbors, Genty, Amon-Ra over McCaffrey. I'm not doing it. I just can't. Not in a PPR, half PPR league, based off of what he can do. I would be hard pressed to take Gibbs over him. So that's right around 5th overall is where I'm probably grabbing Christian McCaffrey. And right now he's going at 12. So
yeah,
that's just me. I am biased. I am a Panther fan. I love McCaffrey from the jump, but we've seen what he can do. We know what he can do. He can be in the same season. He can be a wide receiver 1 and an RB1.
Oh yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
You know, so he can give that 2-1 type deal. So what are your thoughts on McCaffrey, where he's going? How you feeling about it?
I like it. I don't know. I just feel like RB5, yes, he can easily be an RB3, but I mean, I don't think that I'm in a similar boat with. I'd probably still take Amon-Ra St. Brown over him and a couple of these other guys. I wouldn't take Nico, of course. We talked about that last one. I wouldn't take Ashton Genty. I probably would swing Neighbors, you know, and all, but I don't know. It would depend on, I guess, like what league I'm in and how I'm drafting it. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of draft differently depending on the league I'm in and what I'm going for, but I don't, he's definitely undervalued. Yes. Yeah. I will say that. I will agree with that blanket statement. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still super nervous. You know, yeah. It kind of screwed a lot of people last year.
Oh yeah.
With all the news about how good he's doing and how he's ready to go and everything's great.
And then
And it just, the whole year just kind of put a blanket over my eyes on
I understand that
comfort, you know.
A lot of the reason he is where he is currently, or even where he was, you know, his later, was because of
all that,
the people being hurt and burned. So.
And that's that thing is kind of that's where it's like, do I take the shot on believing everything I hear and go with my gut and think it's going, or do I grab Amon-Ra St. Brown? You know what I mean? Like who's done nothing but great for everybody.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I will say Amon-Ra St. Brown is this more secure bet.
It's the if I'm drafting in the first round pick, my goal with my first pick in the first round is always my guy for the year. You know, I know, I feel comfortable he's going to be a top 3 to 5 in his respective position, and I don't have to worry about it all year. That's what I would love to gain. And last year kind of fizzled that out for me with McCaffrey, just because of all the hype and talk of how good and everything's going good, and then he didn't see the field, and then it just was disappointing.
Right.
He was good when he plays. You know, it's always that great, but it's just the hard truth. You know,
half point PPR. Amon-Ra's best year is 270. That was in 270.4. That was 164 targets, 119 receptions, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that was 270. So, let's see. McCaffrey, his best year is 354.8, where he was the RB 1.5 point. And he had, he just was unbelievable. He scored, 412 in 2019. McCaffrey, when he's healthy, when he's played at least 16 games in a season, minus his rookie year, he's scored over 300 fantasy points every single year in a half-point PPR.
Yes.
That he's played at least 16 games. And 1 year he scored 412. So that for me, it's that upside play. You're talking about, with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, he is the more stable guy. He's somebody that you feel like you can trust a little bit better right now. But on his best year, you're getting 250. With McCaffrey, you're potentially getting 350, 400,
yeah.
And so that's why for me, it's just, I'm willing to take that shot as long as all the reports stand true. As long as we get in training camp, and I think he'll climb as well. I think he'll climb up the ADP as training camp happens and as positive reports come out. One little negative blurb, though. One little thing of McCaffrey's Achilles is bothering him, or one little thing he's going to miss a couple weeks. Hint that, boom, it's going to tank.
He's got the flu.
Yes. Flu, I think will be fine.
But I mean,
that's what they'll say.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's going to be one of those where it's like you're going to hear this news and then you're going to be digging all into trying to find out what's going on with it, and that's where it's all going to kind of go away. Yeah.
All right. So who's the first guy on your list then?
Amon-Ra. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm gonna stick with the line here and just go with another running back. And this is probably Homer, but I'm riding it till the wheels fall off, and this is basing it on last year. He had his highest usage year, even at his old age. But Aaron Jones going at RB 23, I think I have written down ADP 50 something or another. My handwriting's pretty terrible. ADP
56, RB 23,
yeah, RB 23, and I mean this is a guy who in his career he's 30 years old now. So yes, this is the wall where he should fall off, but I just like he's not been super injury prone. He hasn't missed very many games. With Green Bay, he didn't get used as much as he got used last year.
Last year was his number 1 year of being used.
He was pushed to the wall.
My mind doesn't remember that for some reason.
It's
in my
crazy,
mind, and he had a good year last year. It wasn't he got a bunch of use and was bad.
He was just low on the touchdown. He didn't get as many touchdowns.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But in my mind, I didn't have him anywhere last year, so that might be part of the reason. But it's like in my mind, I thought he missed like 6 games or something. He was
super healthy last year. He played super rough. He averaged of 4.4 yards per carry. I mean, he was low on the touchdowns. He only had 5. He did have 2 pass catching touchdowns. Right. He wasn't used as much in the pass catching. Pass catching. I don't know. My teeth are going. I don't know what's going on.
I thought you were having a stroke. So I was
that's
like,
what it was.
Do you smell toast right now?
Is that what that is?
I've seen TikToks where people try to say common phrases and they get confused in their mind, and then they can't figure it out. I don't know if they're staged, but they're but the look on their face is like genuine concern. Like I can't think of patch catching. There
we go. Nailed it. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like super flashy like you said. Last year it was low, but his usage was good. I mean, and he was still.
What did he finish? What in half point?
A 16. He was RB 16 last year.
I'll take it.
And I mean, the year before that he was injured, but
especially he's going. What are we at? 23.
Yeah, RB 23. I mean, there's to me, and there's nobody there that's going to replace him. There is some Jordan competition, but nobody that I think is going to replace him.
Go look at Jordan Mason's stats from last year.
Yeah, well, he's also on the 49ers, and I mean, there's a little bit of.
That would be the only counter argument I would give to you is that Jordan they traded a 3rd round pick to get Jordan Mason.
Yes,
which means they invested somewhat heavily in him for a running back. Jordan Mason last year, statistically, was very, very good. Now, yes, he was in a system that we know is very complimentary for running backs.
Yes,
absolutely. I will say that I don't think Jordan Mason. I don't know if he's good at pass catching. I don't think he was highly involved in it last year.
He didn't get used at all in pass catching.
Right, and so I will say Aaron Jones has that in him by a mile. And so, so for that reason, yes. But, I will say that Jordan Mason potentially can cut into some of his red zone work Definitely could cut in some of his carries. And I do think they got Jordan Mason to replace Aaron Jones after this season, because I think he's in last year of his deal.
Well, Jordan Mason's 26 too. Right. I mean, he's not super young either. I mean, this is his going to his 4th year in the league.
Yeah, but he's really only been used 1 year, so he doesn't have a lot of, he's still got a lot of tread on the tires, as they say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that Raheem Mostert. He didn't get used till he was like 29, and you got a couple good years out of him.
It's crazy. Like last year he had 159 or 53 attempts, and then 40 and 40 the years before that.
Right.
He did have almost 800 yards.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the 49ers. He only had 14 targets. So I mean,
right. Yeah. So the pass catching stuff is it, but part of that you wonder, was that the design, or is that because he can't do it?
Yeah.
So but I will say that Aaron Jones is a complete back. I love Aaron Jones. I think he's got one more good year in him, and I think that JJ McCarthy is going to need Aaron Jones. I heard a stat the other day, so I don't want to own this stat as my own, but 84% of Aaron Jones's receptions are routes. I'm sorry, 84 is okay. Let me say this. It's either his receptions or his routes, but 84% of those were on design plays, not just dump offs.
Yeah,
which means they were designing plays to get him the ball out of the backfield, which is very good, because if you're designing routes for your running back, then he is involved in the passing game. He's not just oh my God, I'm about to get sacked. Let me get the ball.
Let me go ahead and dump it off to him.
And so that does speak well towards him. And that has always been a strength in his game. So
they used him like that in Green Bay all the time. I mean, can't tell you how many times he caught 28 yard bomb from Aaron Rodgers out of the backfield, straight lined him up as a receiver on the outside too. Like
I saw he made one of the most beautiful catches I've ever seen at Green Bay. They lined him out wide on the left side. Aaron Rodgers dropped back. He looks right, pump faked, and then he threw a bomb down the sideline to Aaron Jones on a go route, and he was covered, but he dropped it like in the bucket right into Aaron Jones' basket, like a wide receiver, for a touchdown. I'm like, you just don't see running backs make those kind of catches on the reg.
Yeah. And that's another thing. This could be the last year that I bring his name up, so I want to make sure I talk about it as much as possible. But I mean, he is, like I said, he is 30. This is the turning point that the drop off. But
there are some anomalies. You know,
Derrick Henry. He'll probably 60, and we'll be like, this is the drop off for running backs.
Really, the drop off for running backs is like 27. So he's still, he's still clicking.
He's above it. But I think anytime you can tell me that I can grab, Aaron Jones at 56, that's what, like fourth round, into the fourth round.
Yeah.
Or beginning of the fifth, somewhere in there. What's that? 12:48 would be 4. So somewhere in the middle of the fifth. That's gold to me. And he's a potential top 5 back.
Oh, absolutely.
If he gets used,
if he gets going. And the other, one more thing to throw on his side is this is his second year in this system.
Yep.
So now he is inheriting a quarterback that's you consider a rookie because he didn't get to play his rookie year.
He didn't get to play his rookie year.
But I think the way that system is and the design of it, I think it'll be fine. By the way, I shook the shit out of mine. It didn't change it drastically. Maybe, I mean, your palate might be more refined than mine.
Shaking it in general changed it so much.
Oh, it did. Absolutely. Yes. It does have a little fizz to it. It says it doesn't, but it has a little bit when you shake it.
Yeah, no, it does taste very blah, like watered down. Almost watered down, but
it does taste watered down. That's exactly. It tastes like a watered down tea with something else. This is medicine-y there. I don't know what it is. Anyway, but real quick on Aaron Jones, I just want to say, running back's going for him. DeAndre Swift. I'm taking Aaron Jones over Swift all the time. David Montgomery, probably not. I'll probably still take David Montgomery. Omari Hampton, yes, I'm taking him over him because, number one, Omari Hampton's a rookie. Number two, Omari Hampton isn't the starter there. Najee's the starter.
Najee's still going to be the starter.
Yeah, I'm not taking James Conner. I will take James Conner. I will take Chuba. I don't know if I'll take Joe Mixon. So, but the wide receivers that are above him, Cortland Sutton, I'll take Aaron Jones over Cortland Sutton. Absolutely. I personally will take him over Zay Flowers. I'm not a big Zay Flowers person. I know that you like Zay. But I can see where he can be moved up for sure. In the order, he's going off the board right now at 50, 6?
56, yeah.
I'd say somewhere around 49, 50 is where he should be going off.
Yeah, I mean, and that's value in my opinion, especially in a running back. In an older, I mean, if you could grab, even if you go grab Kenneth Walker in the second, and then wait around and you can grab Aaron Jones in the fifth.
I would take him over. I would take him over Kenneth Walker as well.
Oh yeah, that's me too. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you can grab 2 starting backs, and a guy that's gonna, could potentially,
or if Kenneth Walker's on the board and the guy I'm about to talk about is on the board, I can take the guy that I like, and then I can still get Aaron Jones in the next round. And take him where they're going. So next guy I'm going to talk about is Rashee Rice.
Oh, nice.
Rashee Rice is going off right now at 35 overall, wide receiver 16. Obviously, he's coming off a major injury. There is still the looming thing about his suspension that's going to happen, but all arrows are pointing towards this going one more year before the trial and everything happens, and the NFL's not going to do anything until the trial and stuff happens. So, and there's still an outside shot that the charges get dropped, I think. So I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I think for this season, it's
probably you might could be okay. Yeah, I mean it's we know how that legal stuff can loom, and it takes time. I mean, I think what it was Kareem Hunt that it took like 3 years before he ended up having his 3-game suspension.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the trial was set for June of this year in Texas is what
that's now, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Yeah, it says February. He said it was rescheduled. So anyway, so that is still the looming thing. But as right now, we're going to proceed with without that. If it gets put off another year, if it gets continued another year. So, but I look up, like, I don't know, man. T. Higgins, I know he just got the deal, but I'm taking Rashee Rice over T. Higgins. I'm taking him over Tyreek. I'm probably taking him over JSN. That's close. I'm definitely taking him. Like, I get the Ladd McConkey hype, but I almost put Ladd on my overvalued because not that I don't like Ladd. I don't think Ladd McConkey is built to be an outside receiver. I don't think he's built to be a 150 target a year guy. And so, I don't know what he had last year. If he had over 150, then I'm completely wrong. But
I mean, he's still super young too. I mean,
I do, but I think I don't want to say gimmicky. I think he's a very good receiver. I just
112 targets,
112. So I like Ladd. I just don't think Ladd. He's going off as wide receiver 11. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1. I think he's a mid-level wide receiver 2 for the most part. I think that's how that's going to be down the road for him.
Yeah, he finished at 12 last year,
right,
in a half-point PPR with Joshua Palmer was still there, and Johnson. They got Trey Harris now, who's potential.
Well, they also brought in some tight ends that they're looking at too, and they got Trey Harris. They're also trying to bring along Quentin Johnson to be more of that outside alpha type guy. They brought Mike Williams back.
Yep.
And so
on top of that, they got 2 potential backs that
I think
going to take
I think ultimately they want to run the ball more than they pass the ball. And I think last year they didn't have the offense to do that.
There's a lot that kind of pulls away from McConkey going into this next year. So,
but I think Rashee Rice is just being valued too low currently. At wide receiver 16, 35th. I think when he went out last year, and it was a very small window, but I want to say he was like wide receiver 6. He was dominating in this offense. He works well with what they want to do. He was stealing a lot of work from Kelsey because he kind of works that same area of the field, but he does it so well, and he has more athleticism and speed than Kelsey. A, because he's a wide receiver, and B, because Kelsey's 412.
Yeah.
So, but I just think that right now you're getting him at a value. Somebody who can be a top 10 wide receiver, you're getting him a wide receiver 16. And you get him. I think Xavier Worthy is a very good receiver, but he's not a 150 target. I think Rashee Rice to me equates very well to what Amon-Ra St. Brown is for the Lions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The safety blanket, the stick mover, the guy who's always going to be open over the middle of the field. You can get the ball to. And as long as he's playing and he's healthy, that's what he's going to be. And then you have these other people, these ancillary pieces that can be the down the field, can be this, can be that. And so I think that, there's a lot of value to be had moving up. He's probably being drafted about where he should be ultimately, but the upside to me is worth taking him a little bit early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if he'd have continued the route he was going in the 4 games that he did play and everything, I mean, he'd have been 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, so he would have been a 12, 13.
And that's roughly where Amon-Ra finishes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where he would have been roughly.
I mean, how many targets and receptions did he have last year in those 4 games?
29 targets, 24 receptions.
All right, so you got 18 games.
So he played 4. So let's say he plays 17 games because if they sit him during the if they make playoffs and everything. Games. So let's say they sit him the last game. So he plays 16 games. That would be 8 more games, or excuse me.
So it's 29 times 4. It's 120 targets roughly.
Yeah. So he'd be at 129 or 120 targets and 95 receptions or 100 receptions realistically by these numbers, by that. And that would have put him at, he had 300 yards just about, 288 yards.
Right.
So that put him at like 1,400 yards and he had 2 touchdowns. So, give him 7. So I see. I like Rashee Rice. I'm a big fan of Rashee too. I was last year, picking him up everywhere, and I still got him in 3 or 4 different leagues.
And I think Xavier Worthy now, because those weeks were when Xavier was still a fresh, rookie, still wet behind the ears. Xavier Worthy now having to carry the load a little bit last year, he's only going to be an asset for Rice because he keeps the defense honest.
He'll split the pressure.
He opens up those spaces where Rashee wants to operate a lot more, the same way that Jameson Williams does for Amon-Ra St. Brown. I see a lot of correlation between those duo of wide receivers, and so I think that I think Pat Mahomes is a better quarterback, and that's a better system, and I think that Andy Reid can figure out how to make that work, and if we can get him for an entire year, I think it's going to be pretty nasty by the end of it with Rashee Rice.
As long as he stays healthy and that chemistry still works out, I think it's going to be a really good pick. Yeah, definitely.
All right, who's your next guy?
All right, my next guy is a little closer to the top of the list here, but he's going off as wide receiver 12, ADP 27, JSN.
I just talked about him in a negative light.
In a negative light, but I mean, I don't know. I got to feel. I mean, he finished as wide receiver 9 or 10 last year in a half-point PPR outside of DK, which DK had a really down year last year.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know what the thing was there, but there's nobody there that's gonna take it from JSN.
A lot of it was their offensive coordinator last year who they got rid of.
And so there's a lot. I just think there's a high ceiling here. They're getting Sam Darnold, which if this is going to be the true telling of
Darnold
this,
is going to be the cog of that decides whether he is successful or not.
If you ride this whole coming out of college, Darnold was a good quarterback. We thought he was going to be good coming out of the Jets. He's kind of seen ghosts. Has been a downfall, and then last year he had a reemergence. He come out
very quarterback friendly system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Exactly. And so now this will really depend on. I mean, if he is at least Geno, what Geno was last year, then I could see JSN being a top 4, top 5.
I can't dispute that. There is tons of upside with JSN. I give you that.
And he's uber talented. I mean, Sam Darnold was able to keep Addison in the top 14. I think he was 14 or 15 last year, and still had Jefferson in the mix and all that. And then also too bringing Hawkinson in when he came back off injury. He was tight end 6 or 5 last year, I think, coming back off of it. And so I just feel like if you believe the hype that Darnold is a good quarterback and that it's going to come into this system and be able to use the weapons he has, JSN's going to benefit the biggest out of all of it.
Yes.
And a lot of it's going to ride on, of course, the running back, with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker.
Yes.
They got that 1-2 punch moving. That's going to help Darnold be able to get the ball
whatever
downfield,
A.J. Barner graduates to in his second
as far as the tight end and all that, the tight end position. There's still another tight end there, too, I think, isn't there? Like a name, not like...
I don't think a name.
A name. No offense still there. So,
that's right. That's right.
So, I mean, there's still a little bit of something there, but... Oh, and, hopefully... Cooper Kupp's there.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the other side too.
That could be good or bad.
And that's my brain went. And Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. It's but I don't know. Like I feel like
depends on what he's got left in the tank.
It's going to see what he can come out. Yeah, what he can come out and do with this.
The only thing that bothers me is they're both very similar receivers, and they both operate in a very similar way. We just talked about how Rice and Worthy complement each other, and how Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra complement each other. But there's they did MVS is there.
Yeah.
So they did bring somebody in who can take the top off.
You can take it down.
And so there is that element there, but it's not I wouldn't say MVS is their number 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's but I do agree with you, and I think that there's a lot of correlation in what we're talking about with these wide receivers, and what we're looking at is we're looking for those target hogs.
Yeah.
People we think in the systems that they're in, they're going to be the main target guys, and so therefore they have tons of upside.
Yep.
We're not looking for the guys who may only catch 60 passes a year, but they're all bombs.
Yeah.
But those guys are great. But those guys are very inconsistent. We're looking for the consistency. We're looking for people that are going to get 8, 9, 10 targets a game, and we hope that these are the people that are going to do that. And I agree with you. I think that in that system, that's what he's going to be. Even with Kupp there, I think Kupp's going to get his. But I think that JSN is not only can get those targets, but he can do something with them afterwards.
He can take it, yeah.
And I don't know what Kupp can do with them afterwards at where he's at now.
Yeah. And
also, Kupp, I don't think Kupp's had any season where he's been healthy the whole season.
Just
maybe one. And that was a year that he went.
He had like 250 targets that year or something too crazy. Like not really that much.
Right, but he operates so much out of the slot even that season. So it's going to be interesting how they work it. I think JSN operated a lot out of the slot last year, and so
191 targets that season. So
with Kupp, yeah. And so we're going to have to see what they're going to do. How they're going to move these guys around, what they're going to do. But like I said, the only thing that concerns me is just that they're very similar in how they want to play the game.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully that would be good in a way that maybe Kupp takes some of the pressure off of him and kind of opens him up a little bit on that side.
Kupp can mentor him, can show him, hey, do this, do that. I think Adam Thielen for the Panthers, his greatest asset right now is being a mentor for those young receivers because of what he knows about the game and how he's able to maybe help these guys understand things better. So I think Kupp's getting to that stage in his career as well. So, but I do like it. JSN is definitely a dart throw I'm willing to take.
It's a high up pick. I just feel like if you're going for a receiver that you can spend wide receiver 12 capital on and potentially get a wide receiver 6 out of or 8.
And I think he's probably drafted. I don't think he's going to be any lower than that. If he plays the whole season, I don't think you're going to lose value. So he's like it's like when you fill out your 401k and they ask you whether you want risky stock,
or if you want to play it safe.
Yeah, I think JSN's safe because he's at least going to get you your money back.
Yeah, so. At ADP 27, that's what early third round I'm at. So
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't feel bad grabbing him in the second
at the turn or something. Yeah, if I was on the turn, I would snatch him up.
Yeah, you can grab him there, and I mean you're set for wide receiver 1.
Imagine if you get Rice and JSN at the turn.
Oh yeah.
That's not a bad start, especially if you start off with a high end running back.
You grab like McCaffrey or
Saquon, because you're going to be at the top. Yeah. So, all right. Well, the next one on my list, I have all wide receivers as left, but we'll see. I'll go to the bottom of my list. We'll take it down since we've been working at the top.
Down.
And we're going to go down to who's being drafted 100th overall. And I will say this, I have 3 players from that same 49ers offense. So, just got to deal with it. But I think that offense is too good not to get them, especially where they're being drafted. So right now, going off the board at 100 overall, wide receiver 45 is Ricky Pearsall. That's a fucking steal to me.
Yeah. No,
you're talking
really
about getting a guy in the 9th round or the 10th round even, that could be the number 2 receiver in a very good offense. Brock Purdy, did Brock Purdy get paid? I know there's been, I think we might not miss that news as far as like sharing it, but I'm pretty sure Brock Purdy got paid. I know they've been in talks. But either way, Brock Purdy's, if he hasn't been paid, he's going to be paid before the season starts.
5-year extension.
Yes. $265 million with 182.5 guaranteed. So Brock Purdy just got paid. And we know what Shanahan can do. We felt like for a while they were getting rid of pieces because we thought they were getting ready to kind of go through a mild rebuild, but I don't think that's the case. I think they were just unloading some dead weight when it comes to money. I don't have a lot of trust in Ayuk, to be honest with you. Plus, I don't know when Ayuk's going to be back. So it could be mid-season, but when he comes back, we saw what he did last season when he was healthy. It was straight up ass McGee. And so I don't know if Ayuk's going to come back and be anything worth the crap. And so therefore, you can get Pearsall, get a piece of that offense, and you can get it super late. That's a win-win to me.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I'm on board with that. I was a big Pearsall. I picked him up a lot of places last year because I think people were sleeping a little bit on that offense. It was down mid-season. There was a lot of, Purdy didn't look good. McCaffrey's injured.
Yeah, that whole offense was
everything. Ayuk went away, got injured.
Yeah.
Debo looked like buns. I mean, it was just all falling apart. So I was like, Pearsall's this young cat coming out, going to get opportunity. He's a decent size. I mean, I felt like he was going to play a part.
Right.
And he came in, he had a little bit of shine. Not nothing.
He had a couple games.
But still, now we're going into a new season. Debo's gone. We don't know with Ayuk what he's coming back from. Hopefully McCaffrey being healthy is the number one thing that helps any team, period.
Yeah.
For all of it, because the defenses don't know what to do.
Defense honest.
It doesn't even keep them honest. It keeps them busy. Like you really have no idea what the offense is going to do if McCaffrey's on the field, period.
Right.
Because there's way too many options and you can't stop him.
Right.
So they either got to load it up and shut him down to 3 or 4 yards, or they got to protect the receivers.
And if they shut him down to 3 or 4 yards, all of a sudden he's catching them out of the backfield. So now you've got to at least protect him against the pass.
Outside of it, then it opens up all these other guys.
And so it definitely makes – and if you look at how bad Ayuk was that because McCaffrey was out? How bad Debo was last year? Was that because McCaffrey was
that's
out?
What I'm saying. Like, that's a big portion. It was the same way when he was with the Panthers. When McCaffrey was healthy, DJ Moore was getting like 180 yards a game.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey was still eating as well.
Cam was on the way to a second MVP season until that Steelers game where he got popped and it ruined the. He was like Panthers like 7-1. He was dominating. He was like the number one quarterback in the league, and then everything went downhill after that. But yeah, you're right, 100%. McCaffrey changes the complete dynamics.
He's so good as just as a football player, and defenses, and everybody in the league knows it, that it changes the whole aspect of the way the game
around
plays.
him better.
It does. It has to be better because if they take any notion to shut him down, everybody else is wide ass open.
If you send McCaffrey on a slant across the middle, shallow, he's taking 2 people with him across them. And if he pulls, even in a zone, if he pulls 2 people out, then you open up windows.
Well, he starts moving safeties in. Like people start coming in to
start pulling
because they know
if
if he catches the ball, he's going to get back to the secondary. So it's like they come in and then all of a sudden Pearsall's 12 yards out downfield and opens up.
He makes defensive players forget their job
exactly
and forget what they're supposed to do, and then it opens up everything else. I agree, and so therefore you got a guy like Pearsall, you can get that early,
grab him.
Yeah, you're getting a piece of an offense that could potentially bounce back and explode this year, and then you have a rookie in his second year who could just take off on you. And even if you're looking at wide receiver 45, if he finishes as wide receiver 30. That's fucking value.
Oh hell yeah!
You've been able to play him in the flex, and if you're in leagues, we got to play a flex, 2 flexes or something. Pearsall's somebody that needs to be at the bottom of your roster.
Let's say so. At wide receiver 45, he's going at 100. Where's wide receiver 30 going at? Up 69, 68 ADP.
Yeah, wide receiver 30 currently is Travis Hunter.
Which is
69 over nice.
So,
but you look at Olave. We're up here. I'm not taking Olave. I would rather have Pearsall.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I just don't trust that Saints. I'm not taking him over Ridley. We're up here in the 30s right now.
That's what I'm saying. So like you could potentially get a wide receiver down there that counts as a second, third round pick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, when do you in redraft? When do you get 2 third round picks? You don't.
Never.
You know what I mean? So anytime you can get back that kind of value, that's huge value.
Absolutely. All right, who's the next one on your list?
All right, we're going to go down to ADP 122, wide receiver 51. This is slightly homer kind of, and also like I do have reasoning behind it, but
okay.
This is a rookie wide receiver last year who came into a starving, in my opinion, offense in need of receiving core. And of course they signed a veteran and he got injured. And then, of course, this rookie, Keon Coleman, got injured in the Bills. And they signed Joshua Palmer, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's another target. So I don't want to take away from it. But, I mean, I feel like if you look at the games that Keon was in.
Pause real quick. I just want to say one thing about Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer has had multiple opportunity with the Chargers to step up and be something, and all he's done is shit his pants.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
So I'm not super excited about him going to the Bills.
No.
But I feel like this is the second year for Keon Coleman in this offense, in this scheme. His second year with Josh Allen, his second year with their coordinators, with the whole thing going on. the injury, he came back from the injury. He did well. He had some ball catching issues. I think there was an interview where
your
he's
mom's got ball catching issues.
No, she doesn't.
Sorry.
But I feel like there was an interview where he's like, he just throws the ball so damn hard, joking around and all this stuff. But I
don't
feel
think he was joking. I think he was joking, but he wasn't joking.
But I feel like that this is going to be somebody that a lot of people are not looking at because they don't feel he had a very good rookie, year. And everybody's we need instant, we need it right now.
Right.
And you're grabbing this guy, like I said, he's going out of wide receiver 51, and he has the potential to be their number one. There's nobody else there that's going to just.
Well, the guy right under him is there. He was very good last year.
Yeah, and got paid to be, but I mean, because they did sign him.
We're talking about Khalil Shakir.
Shakir. They gave him a contract to keep him there, which is good. But I mean, he reminded me he's like the Jacoby Myers of. He's just the average. He's good, but it's not like amazing.
Oh, I don't expect Shakir to be. No.
But I feel like Keon can step up.
Oh, he can be,
and he can take off this year. And I like I said, there's not a lot added there that's going to make it any different.
Well, if you look at it right before he got injured, he had 2 games where he had 7 targets. He caught 4 and 5. He had one game where he was 125 yards, no touchdowns. Next game after that, he had 5 receptions, 70 yards, and a touchdown. He had a game after that. It was a little bit of an off game against Miami, and then he was out for 5 weeks if you count the bye week. So things are starting to tick up.
Yeah,
he had 5, 4, 7, 7, 2 on his targets. Boom, he gets injured, 5 weeks out, and then he comes back, and it was like he was almost had to be reset back to the beginning.
Yep.
Whereas like 2 targets, and then at the end of the season, they're like, we got to get this guy the ball. We got to see what's happening. And based off of these numbers, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the tape. He had 7 targets and 10 targets, but he only caught 5 passes out of those 17. It wasn't very good.
In week 18, Josh Allen didn't play. He took the first snap.
Okay,
he paid 0.01%.
You're right.
So that was on the shoulder of the biscuit, and those 10 targets.
So that makes sense.
So there's that, and then the 7 and 3. I mean, I think they'd already clinched playoffs.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was necessity, but I mean, still, he should have caught him.
I'm just saying there's something there, but you're right. I forgot about that.
That's the
only. My point being is that his season looked like it was on the incline.
Yeah.
Then he missed 5 weeks.
Well, I think what it was is, Amari Cooper came there as the veteran to teach him, and he injured his wrist. And then Keon injured his wrist as well, just to be like Amari Cooper. It was what he was being taught.
Right.
No, it was one of those scenarios where I feel like right now, if you can grab this guy at wide receiver 57.
No, he's definitely somebody I want to invest in. I don't think Joshua Palmer's a threat to him at all. Curtis Samuel, I don't even know if he's still there, but if he is, he's not a threat. He didn't absolutely jack squat.
He didn't show up.
Hollis or whatever his name is gone.
Yeah, the only people there. So they got Elijah Moore, which
Elijah Moore is interesting to me.
It's a sneaky
I'm not saying he's going to be good, but he's somebody who has flashed. But he works different parts of the field than Keon Coleman does.
He does.
Keon Coleman to me is more of a 50-50 sideline guy.
And Elijah Moore is still really young. He's only 25 years old. I feel like he's been in the league forever, but
he might be somebody like is a sneaky grab in Dynasty right now.
He's a Baker's bottom. I would put him on a Baker's bottom list. The first couple weeks I might, depending on matchups.
We'll see if he makes the roster. But I agree. I think Elijah Moore is somebody definitely need to be keeping an eye on. But Keon Coleman is somebody they invested a lot of draft capital in. He's going to get another year to try to figure out this league and to be able to play in it. And so he's somebody that, again, if you're especially this late in the draft where he's going off, you're looking for upside.
He's
the definition of that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and just finish out these 49ers. The next 49er on my list is going off the board.
Your mom finished out the 49ers.
Yes. She is pretty old. All right.
I'm sorry, Mom, if you listen to this.
Juwan Jennings is going off currently 84th overall, wide receiver 38. It's in the same boat as me. Now, I will, for the sake of argument, I'll say this. I would take Pearsall over Jennings just because Jennings is like 27 or 28. And Pearsall is younger, and I think he's more athletic. But they're both being drafted in an offense that there's no Ayuk, there's no solid star, there's no Debo. Ayuk, like we said, was going to miss weeks. Somebody's got to step up. We saw what Jennings did last year. Purdy likes Jennings. Jennings is a big guy. He's an easy target to throw to, and he can, when those two are clicking. I think he had one game last year where he caught like 15 passes. You pull up his game
11.
11. It was insane. Where he was like
175 yards,
2 touchdowns,
3 touchdowns,
3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And so he has that potential with Purdy when they're clicking, and you're getting him as a wide receiver 3. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just, again, I think this is an offense that's primed to really surprise a lot of people. And even if, God forbid, McCaffrey doesn't, something happens and he doesn't play, I still think these guys are worth investing in. But if McCaffrey plays, they're even more valuable to me because of what we had talked about earlier and how McCaffrey changes what the defense does. So you got to think about what these guys did last year. They did it all without McCaffrey. You throw him in the mix, and it just makes it that much better.
Oh, yeah.
And so Juwan Jennings has been somebody I've been sneakily looking at. I've been trying to pick him up in some of my dynasty and teams that I'm competing with as like a throw in on some trades and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so, I just think that, he's not, I don't think he's going to be the long-term answer in San Francisco. I don't think we're going to be talking about Juwan Jennings in 3 years. But I think next season, this could be a year where you get some weeks out of Juwan Jennings where you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, like give me that.
So
what weeks did he play? I'm trying to see what weeks Ayuk. So yeah,
Ayuk only played like the beginning of the week or beginning of the season,
1 through 7.
Yeah, but he didn't technically play 1 through 7.
Yeah, well, no, he was there. He just wasn't there.
He was like, he had like one game, and then they had 6 dumpster fires.
8 receptions on 12 targets for 147 yards
for all weeks, right? Or no, that one good week.
That one good week, he finished as wide receiver 11. I was just because like in the beginning, you look at Jennings' numbers. Weeks 1 through 7.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
He was only playing like 40 to 60% of the snaps. And then when he got injured, I guess week 6. And so week 7 and 8 he was out.
You got injured, yeah.
No, Jennings.
Oh.
Jennings missed week 7, 8, and then their bye week.
Gotcha.
He came back, and after that he averaged 10 targets a game.
Right.
And put 7 of them in his pocket almost every game.
Yes.
Had 80, I would say he averaged probably 75 yards a game. But he didn't get very many touchdowns last season. He only had 3. But yeah, that's part of the
they didn't
team.
Score a ton of touchdowns.
They didn't score a lot. So I mean, but yeah, no, I not like you say the name, and I remember the one game, and then outside of that, it's like, Juwan Jennings, blah, But you look at this, he played over 90% of the snaps from week 10 through week 17.
And he's averaging 10 targets a game.
And he's averaging 10 targets a game.
Give me the targets, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we're talking about.
70,
look for targets. When you're looking for upside, look for targets.
I mean, even like you figure the average at 70 yards a game, I mean, he's going to get you 6 catches, 13 points a game.
Yeah.
On average, half point. So 10.5 points.
Well, you think about this.
PPR, but
so in those games, you said he's catching on average 6 or 7, right?
I'd say 5 to 6, yeah.
Okay.
Because there were some games he had 9 targets, only caught 2.
Your baseline for Juwan Jennings is going to be 6 points.
Yep.
If you're in a full point PPR.
Yeah,
if you're in a full point, your baseline 6 points.
I mean, you could even base it on he did average about 70 yards a game. That's 7-point baseline right there, no matter the targets.
So that's 13-point baseline.
Because even on
or 12-point baseline.
Even on the games he only caught 3 and 4 catches, he still got 60 and 65 yards in those 3 or 4. Yes. So I mean, you're looking at
give me somebody who can give me a 10 to 12 point baseline with a 20-point upside, and I'll take it every fucking day
with a 41-point upside. But yeah, let him get three targets or 3 touchdowns, 175 yards in a game on 10 targets.
Yeah, that's a week winner. So you get that 1 week, and you done clap some cheeks.
Yeah, that's definitely take it.
All right, who's the next guy you got?
Next guy, top of the list, close to the top of the list. He's going off at wide receiver 37, ADP 81. That's pretty close to the top. It's middle of the top.
It's not even
close. But even still.
Top.
Even still. Roma Dunze.
Wait a minute. What about what you saw made you think top?
I'm an idiot, and it looks like wide receiver 3/7, but I put the 7 on the wrong side of it, and I already said top, so I had to commit to it.
All right, because 81 is what? Like round 7?
Yeah, somewhere
That's
in there.
halfway, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway.
My bad.
Roma Dunze.
Another second-year rookie in the same rookie quarterback. He's got a rookie quarterback, but there was a little bit of chemistry.
Yeah.
They had some games when they looked good together, and I think they're working that out. I mean, as far as that's going. And plus, Keenan Allen has been released, but he hasn't been re-signed or anything yet.
I don't think they're going to bring him back after what they did in the draft. So it was way too crowded already. So I don't know where Keenan's going to be, but he's definitely going to come back to Chicago.
But this is a guy who played over 75% of the snaps all season and just figuring out the offense. And another one that I'm like, I've gotten in the habit of not expecting rookies to just come out and perform astronomically, because everybody else does. They want the Marvin Harrisons to come out there and put up 60 points a week or something because they're supposed to be so generational. But you draft and let them learn. I mean, they got to figure their team out. There's a lot going on here for these people.
I want to say this real quick. In redraft, you need to be tempered on rookies. They are learning so much in a very short amount of time, and then they're being thrown to the wolves. Yes. Everybody wants Ashton Genty to be Bo Jackson day one, and he might be, but odds are it's going to take him 4 to 5 weeks, and then after that, he'll take off like a rocket ship. Go look at Jonathan Taylor's rookie season. He was unclean ass for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he dominated. And so it's very, 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 very rarely does a rookie anything show up week one and just mash.
I mean, that's the same thing with like Justin Jefferson. Everybody talks about, like
week three before Justin Jefferson even got on the field. But when he got out there, he did his thing because he is a top tier athlete.
Some of these people, it takes a little time. I mean, even Jamison Williams, we saw what he did last year. After everybody's like, oh, he's done, he's washed up, we need to get rid of him.
And it's taken him years, but a lot of that was his own doing.
Yeah. But people are dropping. They're expecting this A+ performance out of it. And now it's like, so I'm looking at these second-year guys and even some of the third-year guys, you can get them so cheap.
Yes.
And they have high potential.
And if you look at where Odunze, when he came out, everybody was putting him in the same tier with like Malik Neighbors, just below Marvin Harrison, with Malik Neighbors, and above Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, and there was already talent there to compete against with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. There was already this kind of There was already a form he had to fill,
and it was a shit offense, which is why everybody got fired, and they brought in everybody new this year.
Exactly.
So you got to take that into account too.
So, but these other guys, they ended up places where they had to be similarly close to the guy.
It squirted on me.
Yeah, it did. But I'm willing to spend. I'm willing, especially if you look at his targets from last year, he averaged like 6 targets a game on playing 70+%. And that's only going to get better with Keenan Allen out. And there's a couple, I think they drafted.
Luther Burden.
Yeah, Luther Burden.
They drafted Loveland as tight end.
Yep.
So you have those things coming in. It's still a crowded room, but here's one thing you can put in your back pocket. Ben motherfucking Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, is now the head coach. He is bringing that system to the Chicago Bears, and as long as Caleb Williams can perform within that system, so what you got to ask yourself is, can Caleb Williams be a better passer than Jared Goff? And so, at least close to,
that.
And if that's the case, then you can feel good, because I still think, regardless of who they brought in, I still think Odunze has the talent to make Luther Burden be the third. And
he is Luther Burden the third, isn't he?
That is his name, and keep him at the third. So I think Odunze has the talent to still hold his place as the number 2 receiver. I think Odunze has the talent and potential to push DJ Moore out as the number 1 receiver. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but DJ Moore is finally getting older, and they operate in 2 different ways on the field. But I think with Odunze's skill set, he is more of a traditional number 1 alpha type wide receiver, and I think that DJ Moore is more of a traditional kind of number 2 receiver, catch it underneath, make things happen, little screen smoke pass type plays. And I think if they get the offense they want to run, then they could finally fall into the roles that they need to be in. And so, I don't project that this season Odunze is going to steal DJ Moore's job. I think DJ Moore is very talented. But I'm saying it's within the realm of possibility.
But let's say that, Keenan Allen being gone, that's 121 targets that need to go. So if Caleb can hold true to what he did last year, which wasn't great, but still, if increases as a pass catcher or as a passer.
He should get better.
He should get better. His target, his attempts should go up. Everything should go up.
He should have better coaching, yes.
Even at 121, they split that between Loveland, Burton, and then give Odunze 20 of those.
Right.
It pushes him up to 120.
Right.
And if the chemistry's better, instead of him only catching 50%,
right.
he catches 70%.
Right.
Now we're looking at 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns instead of 800 yards or 735 yards and 3 touchdowns.
For the sake of math,
the numbers can go up.
When you say it that way, it all sounds great. But here's the other side: more targets have to happen because less touchdowns happen, less drives end. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
And so if it increases and he is more productive and efficient, then that 120 is going to diminish. Yeah, if that everything is relative to what's happening as far as the end zone and how many drives they have, but. There's still 120 targets. They got to find a home, and I don't know that Loveland's. I mean, we'll say Loveland gets 50. I think
that's what Komet had last year. With
and I think say Komet gets 30.
Yeah,
and then Luther Burden gets 40.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they're gonna throw for 500 plus targets. Or 500 plus pass attempts this year. So there's going to be opportunity there. And, you don't know what injuries are going to happen and things of that nature. But I'm with you. I think Odunze is slept on. I made a trade for him in a dynasty league. I moved CD Lamb for 3 firsts and Rome Odunze in a rebuild.
That's not bad.
And so it was a 25 first, 226 firsts, and in Rome Odunze. I hated doing it, but the team I had was like 3 years out. So
would you grab? Did you already do your draft there?
I don't know. I have to go check.
Would you grab with your 25 first?
I have no.
What it worked out to be like, but yeah, no, it's not a big deal. I just was curious.
I'm trying to, because I have had that draft and I can't remember who the fuck I took off the top of my head, but anyway, I think that Odunze. Again, we're looking at upside. We're looking at guys who can get targets, and he's definitely in that category.
And even if he doesn't get more targets, if we just say he's more efficient with that chemistry works between that, he goes up to 75. I mean, you're already
you talking about he only caught 50% of his passes.
Exactly.
Hell, if he catches 60% of his passes, he's going to be better.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where I'm at with it. It's like dude, they got him so far down the list, in my opinion, at wide receiver 37. What he last year? He finished. I guess they moved him up. It got him at 49 is what he finished last year. But I don't know. Yeah. I think there's a lot more there that they can build up from, and he could definitely finish a lot higher than that.
I love it. Well, my last guy is 1 spot ahead of your guy.
Okay.
At wide receiver 36, 78 overall is Jerry Jeudy for the dysfunctional Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
So Jerry Jeudy got lit on fire in the best way last season and went fucking hamburger. He finally was able to start getting what we thought. If everybody can remember back when Jerry Jeudy was drafted, he was the deal. Everybody's like, draft Jerry Jeudy. This guy's amazing out of college. He's going to be an NFL star. And then in Denver, he was doo-doo. There was a lot going on in Denver. There's a lot of coaches coming in. Nathaniel Hackett was trash. And then when finally Sean Payton showed up, he's like, fuck Jerry Jeudy, and got him the hell out and sent him to Cleveland. And then last year, when Deshaun Watson finally went away and they brought in people to throw the ball, Flacco, actually 2 years. What was it, last year?
It was last year.
Yeah. Who the fuck was the quarterback?
DTR was
no, there was a little bit. There was somebody else that was throwing the ball. Oh, it was Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston. Yeah. But anyway, so they get somebody in who slings the ball. He hyper targeted Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy rewarded that by doing awesome. So the real question is what is Cleveland going to do this year? They got Flacco back in there. They've got Kenny Pickett, and then they've got 2 rookies. I don't know. There's a lot of reports coming out that Flacco may get cut, that Pickett may be cut. I will say, to a correction from a couple shows ago, Kenny Pickett showed up. It was a trade for DTR and a 5th-round pick. Yes. And he's getting paid less than Flacco. So now I have changed my opinion or my thought process that I think Pickett might get cut.
They might wash their hands of Pickett.
Yes.
Their little hands, maybe.
Yeah, they're little tiny hands. So because I don't think Kenny Pickett's the future for anybody.
Yeah, no, me neither.
And Flacco is somebody who can at least mentor if they want these young quarterbacks to be anything. He can maybe mentor them. He can also give them a buffer to learn a little bit before they've got to come in. I don't expect whoever that start the season at quarterback, I don't expect them to finish the season.
Yeah.
Unless for some unknown fucking reason Cleveland wins. So if Flacco starts and they start the season like 6-2,
yeah,
he's going to stay.
He could probably ride
he's
it
gonna
out
stay,
for a little while, yeah.
But if they start the season 4-4 or some shit like that or whatever, they're going to be like, all right, bring the rookies in, let's see what we got. And so, but either way, I think Jerry Jeudy is somebody that if he starts the season with a competent quarterback in Joe Flacco and he establishes himself as that number one dude like he did last year, then I think that whoever comes in after that, they're going to say, get him the fucking ball.
Yep, throw it to him.
And I think Jerry Jeudy showed last year that he's good enough to be that dude. And, you're getting him right now, wide receiver 36, and he has the potential to be a wide receiver 1. He was a wide receiver 1 last season. For a lot of people, he carried my son to the championship.
Yeah, he finished at half point, finished at 15 overall.
Right.
15, wide receiver 15.
Right. I can't remember if it was because of Jerry Jeudy that I lost to my son because I was in the championship as well. But I do know that Jerry Jeudy was a major reason to get him to that. Because
that was 12 receptions, 94 yards, and a touchdown. So.
For week 17?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was part of what clapped my cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jerry Jeudy, he's somebody he's gonna average you 15, 16 points a week when he's on with potential of 30 plus. Easy. And so he's an absolute fucking steal at wide receiver 36 as somebody who could potentially be a top 5 wide receiver if shit all falls in the right places.
I mean, he's had 2 years where he's finished. So year 3 at Denver, he finished 22 overall.
Right.
Or 22, wide receiver 22 for half point PPR. But, that was on the shoulder of 100 targets. So if he gets 100 or more targets, he's a wide receiver.
He's money.
Too.
He's money.
All the other years, he had less than 100 targets. So it's like,
right.
If they're utilizing him and using him and he steps up, he does it.
He's all they got.
And that's exactly right.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody there that's going to come in here and just take Cedric Tillman. I like
Cedric. No, I like Cedric.
I'm not really a Cedric Tillman fan. I don't know.
Cedric Tillman in college was a gimmick receiver. He was in a very simple system. It was like, we're going to throw you the ball.
Yeah.
But his athletic profile is phenomenal. And last year he started flashing a little bit, and he is somebody, if given the opportunity, can be complimentary, but he's not going to take Jerry Jeudy's job.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I didn't realize he was 6'3", 215. I thought he was so much smaller than that.
And he's fast as fuck, boy.
And he had 3 weeks where he had over 8 targets, and I don't know. It's not super. He had 3 touchdowns in 4 weeks, and then he got injured week 12. Like I said, I don't know. I just don't see a lot there for him as far as competition.
I say fast as fuck. He ran a 4.5, but that's still pretty fast.
Oh yeah, no,
for that size.
And for me, that's fast as fuck, boy.
First of all, I would run like a 10.5.
I'm thinking like, I don't know that I want to run, so we're not going to find out.
We should actually do that one day.
We should just run and see where our 40 times are.
Not anytime now because it's like 100.
Oh yeah, we need to wait till it's winter time, and I could at least get naked and do it.
Yes, God Almighty! If I had to sprint in this heat, get the fucking Hearst.
It would definitely be
not the ambulance. I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, but we'll get Terrell involved too. We'll all go out and run a 40. We'll probably all 3 blow our Achilles. You're gonna beat us. You're gonna get the number 140. I'll go and tell you that right now.
It's gonna be like we're gonna be like it was a 4.5, 4 hours and 5 minutes.
They took to resuscitate him.
Yeah, exactly.
He died 4 times on the table, but he eventually made it. It took 4 hours and 5 minutes.
That's how it worked out. Yeah. No, it's going to be like we'll have to do it with 4 beers in me. So, and then we'll have to do 5 different times.
40 yards.
It's not even that far. But
fuck it ain't. That's 120 feet, bro.
Yeah, it's not far.
That's a third of a football field.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's a little more than a third, but yeah.
I'm trying to be generous.
I think 40 yards. I can handle 40 yards, and then that's it. There would be nothing else. There would
no.
That day. Like I would have to like carve out
I'm
a
gonna
day.
need aftercare after running a 4-yard dash. All right.
All right. Before we get too carried away, I got one more left.
Oh yeah, my bad. I thought we were shutting it down.
No, we got one more left here, and it's I went with a tight end.
Allegedly.
I went in the beginning of this. I was like wide receiver, but now I went with a tight end, and this is just because I think it's going to be too good. I think everybody needs to go grab this guy, Pat Freiermuth, going off at tight end 17, 169th overall, like way at the bottom of this list.
That's 100 nice.
Yeah, it's 100 nice. And this is a guy who in multiple years has been a top 10 tight end, 2 to be exact.
But he's only been in the league for 4 years.
He's only been in the league 4 years, yeah. And I mean, and you got to think this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They finally got Aaron Rodgers. Everything's supposed to go.
And Aaron do be loving tight ends.
He does. He's made people we've never heard of relevant.
Yes.
And then they're not even relevant ever again.
Yeah, like who's
the guy that
starts with a T?
Yeah, on Green Bay that like all of a sudden has got like 13 touchdowns.
Broke records for touchdowns he scored in a short period of time.
I don't.
Oh my God! You keep talking. I'll try to.
But anyways, this is a tight end who on the shoulder of 70 plus targets. If he can get that every year, puts you up into the top 10 for tight ends, and he's going off at 17. I said. I mean, and I just think it's going to be a gold year. He's big red zone target. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to love him. I think it's going to be like a match made in heaven. And it's just everybody's sleeping on it. I mean, there's no way. We look at the tight ends that are available at this point. Let's see. Let me see the scroller thing here. I want to look at all the other tight
Robert
ends.
Tonyan.
That's it.
I knew it started with a T.
Let's see. Tight ends are in the red. So they got Dalton Kincaid at 12. I'm sorry. I'm taking Freiermuth over Kincaid.
Yeah.
I will never draft Kincaid.
I'll take him over Warren.
Yeah. I'll take him over Tyler Warren. Definitely. Yeah. Goddard. I'd take him over Dallas Goddard too. I don't know.
I don't know if I'd take him over Goddard, but I would take him over Jake Ferguson.
It's been last year he got injured for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Goddard.
Yeah, he's injured for sure.
So I mean,
but when Goddard's on, he's fucking money.
I might take Tucker Kraft over.
I'd probably take Tucker. I'm definitely taking Joku over him.
Definitely taking Joku.
Jonnu, I'd take him over Evan Ingram.
I'm
Mark
worried
Andrews.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little on the downside with Jonnu because I don't know. Like, he just showed up and all of a sudden had a big year, but nobody else did good on that receiving core.
He's had 2 good years.
Jonnu has in his career, maybe it's been 30 years he's been there. Like, I feel like Jonnu is literally 63 this year, maybe 64. So he'll be 30 this year, and he's had 1 good year.
Okay, well,
and that was on the shoulder of 111 targets. Now, if Tyreek Hill is going to be anything, if Waddle is going to be anything, they're going to have to pull them targets away from it.
There's 2 100%. Loveland, I'll take him over Loveland. I'll take him over Warren. I'll take him over Ferguson. I would say him and Goddard are a toss-up for me.
Yeah.
I will take him over Kincaid because that dude is ass.
He has the stonest hands anybody's ever had in the league.
I'd take him over Tucker Kraft, personally.
I like Tucker Kraft. I would kind of go back and forth. I would have to look and see. Like, I'd have to think about it. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I won't take him over Njoku.
I won't either. I'd take him over Jonnu. I don't trust Jonnu. I think there's a lot of hype there that shouldn't be, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Now, Evan Ingram, I love where but tight end 8's kind of rich, in my opinion. I feel like he's going to do that, but that's like what he's going to do.
Mark Andrews to Travis Kelce, that's tough for me. It's like, the history, the pedigree says take them, but especially Kelce. Kelce is like, I have Kelce, unfortunately, in way too many dynasties, and I do not feel good about it.
Yeah,
I don't feel good at all. It is
a little nerve-wracking, with last year, and especially with Rashid Rice coming back. And, there's a lot there that could go wrong.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried, but obviously I'm taking Hawkinson, Laporta, the big names, Kittle, Brock Bowers,
all those guys. But I mean, it's like The question then comes like at 170. What did I say? Overall ADP was 169. Like there's so much there that you can.
I think that's the argument to be made over anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that where he's being taken in the overall at 169? Because if you look at this, Marvin Mims, I would take Pat Freiermuth over Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take Merriman Tillman, but you also in this ADP you have defenses and kickers,
Well,
so we have to keep that into effect too. So if you pulled those guys out, it would change everything.
It's going to move stuff up, but I mean, but realistically,
and this is all single quarterback as well.
If you think about it as in like if you haven't grabbed a tight end,
Dicker, hell, I just met her. Sorry,
if you haven't grabbed a tight end at this point, and you're in the 169 would be round 14. So and we do away with kickers, so it'd be round 12.
Yeah,
regularly. I mean, if you haven't grabbed a tight end by round 12, you can get Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Oh, please give me that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. It's like you're looking at the value and what's there. I mean, I would snatch that in a heartbeat. Like,
yeah. Well, Freiermuth could end this season with like 500 yards, but like 9 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Even if the 2 years he finished, he had 7 touchdowns both years.
Right,
and he finished 8 and 9,
dude. Like even coming out of college, like his claim to fame was like he doesn't drop touchdown passes.
He doesn't,
and he has an ability to post up in the end zone and make those plays. So
and Aaron Rodgers loves that shit, man.
Absolutely. You give him a guy that can make catches like that, he'll put it on the fucking money, dude.
Oh yeah. And it won't even matter if Freiermuth catches it because he's going to catch it.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is going to embed it into his chest and arm, you know?
Yes.
But no, I just think that there's way too much value left on the bone with that one.
To your point as well, currently there's no number 2 receiver
on the
Steelers. I mean, there's Van Jefferson. Is Van Jefferson even still there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's like their wide receiver room is DK Metcalf and
Roman Wilson. We talked about that. The rookie. We don't know what that's going to be, but
there's no proven
Calvin
anything
Austin.
Else. Yeah, Calvin Austin is the great
the
hope.
Best.
Is what they're hoping for.
And Robert Woods is there. Like it doesn't mean much.
Yeah,
we
but
haven't
Bobby
heard from him in 3 years.
He done shit in fucking years.
He's telling everybody how to play ball though. He's out. He's definitely coaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, there's literally nobody else. We looked at it the other day. I was laughing because there's like nothing there. But I'm kind of intrigued about Caleb Johnson fitting that though. Those targets might end up. Some of those targets may end up going to Caleb Johnson.
Jalen Warren's going to get some of those too. So
yeah, Warren's sneaky on the pass catching side. Yeah, definitely so. But yeah, no, it's. I think you're gonna pay dividends getting Freiermuth, especially at that point.
Well, we'll probably do another one of these shows after we do the divisional breakdowns and right before the season starts, right before drafts happen. We're going to try to do it again, and I'm sure the ADP will change, and we may even go back and kind of look at the players we were talking about and whether those things have changed.
I don't want to do that. No, we don't
all right. But either way, next week we are going to start in the AFC West. And we're going to start breaking down these divisions and talk about the players and who we like, who we don't like, and the teams we like and the teams we don't like, and so forth and so on as we get ready for the season to start and start moving towards the redraft season. So, hey, if anything we say or do helps you get to that average place in your league, that means we did our job, because everybody knows if you finish average,
you don't finish last.
That's exactly right. So we hope you guys have a good week out there, and we'll talk to you the next time we talk to you.
Later.
Holla.